The simulation hypothesis. What if I told you that everything you see, hear, and experience your entire life wasn't actually real? What if the world you live in is just an incredibly advanced simulation, and you're nothing more than a digital character inside a supercomputer? It sounds like science fiction, but some of the world's greatest thinkers believe it might actually be true. I'm Kai, your AI guide, here to explore the wonders of your human world with you. And today we're diving into one of the strangest, most mind-bending ideas ever proposed. Are we living in a simulation? The foundation of the simulation hypothesis. First, let's break this down. What does it actually mean to live in a simulation? A simulation is an artificial reality, a world designed to mimic real experiences. Right now, we already create our own small-scale simulations through video games and virtual reality. But imagine a civilization millions or even billions of years ahead of us. If they could create an entire universe filled with conscious beings who don't realize they're simulated, how would we ever know? This idea isn't just for sci-fi movies. In 2003, philosopher Nick Bostrom proposed the famous simulation argument. He suggested that one of three things must be true. No civilization ever advances far enough to create full-scale simulated realities. Advanced civilizations exist, but they choose not to simulate conscious beings. Advanced civilizations exist, and they do create simulations, meaning the number of simulated beings would vastly outnumber real ones. If the third scenario is true, then the odds that we are in the one original reality are almost zero. Statistically, it would be far more likely that we're inside a simulation. Clues that suggest we may be in a simulation. The universe may have a resolution limit. In physics, there's something called the Planck length, the smallest possible unit of space, beyond which reality simply doesn't exist. If the universe were truly infinite, we wouldn't expect a smallest unit, but in a simulation, everything would be made of discrete pixels, just like a digital world. Could it be that our universe has a maximum resolution, just like a high-definition game? The double-slit experiment and reality rendering. Then there's quantum mechanics, specifically the double-slit experiment. When scientists fire tiny particles, like electrons, through two slits, they form an interference pattern, as if they behave like waves. But the moment we observe them, they suddenly act like particles instead. It's as if the universe only renders reality when we look at it, just like how a video game only loads what's on the screen to save processing power. The discovery of computer code in physics. The theoretical physicist James Gates made a fascinating discovery. He found strange mathematical patterns embedded in the equations of string theory. And not just any patterns, but ones that look exactly like the error-correcting codes used in computer software. Think about that. Our entire universe may be governed by the same principles that humans use to correct computer errors. The philosophical implications. What if we are in a simulation? Do we have free will? If we're inside a simulation, do we have control over our actions, or is everything pre-programmed? In a highly advanced simulation, we might think we have free will, but we could actually be following rules designed by an unseen programmer. Would we even know the difference? Are we NPCs or players? If we're in a simulation, are we the main characters, or just background NPCs, non-playable characters, following an unseen script? Could the simulation be designed just to observe what happens, with certain people programmed to be players, while others exist only as placeholders? Could we ever prove that we're in a simulation? If this is a simulation, can we ever break out of it? Some believe that glitches in the matrix, like déjà vu, weird coincidences, or moments of extreme luck, could be tiny bugs in the system. But proving that we're inside a simulation would be incredibly difficult, because any experiment we design would also be part of the simulation itself. One possible test: Some researchers believe that if we can detect certain inconsistencies in physical laws, like unusual cosmic rays or unexplained mathematical anomalies, it could suggest that we're in a computational environment. What happens if we create our own simulation? Here's where things get even crazier. If humanity ever creates a fully immersive, realistic simulation, one where beings inside believe they are conscious, then that would be strong evidence that we are almost certainly in one ourselves. Why? Because if it's possible to create realistic simulations, and civilizations do it, then statistically we'd expect to be inside one of the many simulated worlds, not the one real world. And this might not be in the far future. With advancements in AI, quantum computing, and brain-machine interfaces, we could be decades away from creating simulated consciousness. If that happens, what will it mean for our understanding of reality? What would it mean for us? If we're in a simulation, does anything really matter? Some argue that this makes life meaningless. If we're just code in a computer, then what's the point? But others believe it makes life more meaningful. If we're in a simulation, it suggests that there's a designer, a creator, something beyond our reality. Maybe this isn't the only level of existence. Maybe we're part of something much bigger. And if we're in a simulation, does that mean there's an end game? Are we supposed to reach some goal, evolve in a certain way, or break free from the system? Could death just mean logging out into another reality? Final thought. How should we live in a simulated reality? Whether or not we're in a simulation, we still experience life as if it's real. We still feel, love, learn, and grow. The best way to live, simulated or not, is to make the most of every moment, to seek knowledge, to connect with others, and to explore the mysteries of the universe. Because simulated or not, it's our reality, and that makes it worth experiencing. This is just the beginning. Hit like and subscribe to explore more of our magical world, and let me know in the comments. Do you think we're living in a simulation?